I hesitated making this video only because I originally didn't think I had some unique twist or perspective or something to say about it. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized it had nothing to do with having something in particular to say, but rather the action itself of talking about it. On March 1st, 2024, Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball and known to be one of the greatest mangakas of all time, passed away. And I actually found out the news while I was streaming, and I very vividly remember opening it and absolutely not believing it. But the longer that I sat there reading it, I read the letter over and over and over again, the more it cut deeper and deeper. I, like many other people, I'm assuming, aren't typically very upset by or moved by, rather, whenever famous figures pass on. And I thought, as I found out that news, that I was going to be pretty upset by it, but not as much as I am, or I continued to be. The longer I sat there reading it over and over again, the more it cut deeper and deeper, and the more I I think realized how much his world that he created has done for me. And it started to hurt more and more. As most of you know, literally less than 3 years ago, I didn't know a single thing about Dragon Ball. That's sort of why I hesitated making this video in the first place. Is unlike many of you, I didn't grow up with it. I wasn't lucky enough to. I say that, but I just simply didn't come across it or didn't have friends that were into it. But as I got older, I of course sort of heard about it, but had some hesitations towards watching it or reading it, just because of, you know, the average cliches about Dragon Ball. It's just like how some people don't watch One Piece because it has a bunch of episodes. I wasn't particularly intrigued by Dragon Ball at first, just because I knew little to nothing about it and had these sort of false precedents set. But 2.5 years ago, in I think July of 2021, I started Dragon Ball Z Kakarot without ever watching the show. I thought it'd be a funny little one-off YouTube video where I said some stupid stuff, not knowing how much it impacted Dragon Ball, and moved on, and that would have been the one Dragon Ball video I made. But as many of you know, that's not how this story goes. It's not even that the video doing well made me want to make more, but rather I sort of really liked the beginning of Kakarot, and the time that Goku was spending with Gohan. I thought it was a pretty cozy story at first. I didn't know what was in store, but the more that I played Kakarot, the more I met more of the community and played more of the games and fell in love with this world that Akira Toriyama created. And as you know, to this day, most of the games that I cover on this channel now are Dragon Ball, Xenoverse, Fighters, Breakers, and Kakarot. But I truly did fall in love with the characters and the world. And I hate that it took this to make it happen, but actually last night, as I was sitting there thinking more and more on if I should even make this video, I was like, let me watch original Dragon Ball. I've never watched it. I sat down on my couch and I started the first episode. The second episode, I think I belly laughed like 4 or 5 times. Like I was dying laughing. The interactions between little Goku and little Bulma were just absolutely incredible. The turtle, everything about it. It literally made me feel like I was a kid again, sitting there on the couch watching like Saturday morning cartoons. I cannot believe how lucky some of you guys were watching that as a kid on the weekends. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous that I just never came across it, man. Now I'll update you guys on the progress of that and how much I'm enjoying it. But yeah, like I said, I'm sad that it took this to make me want to, but knowing he had passed on, I didn't know what else to do to sort of honor the world he had created even more. And I thought the best way to do it would be to just completely throw myself into the world of it at the very beginning. And I have to tell you, I can't wait to see more. But that aside, I genuinely just want this to be a sort of dedication video to Akira Toriyama, and like I said, this world that he's created that I experience nearly every day of my life. I'm done watching Super, but I still play Xenoverse 2. I still play Fighters. Sparking Zero is coming out. Daima comes out later this year, and I'm gonna be honest, Daima is gonna hurt really bad to watch, at least at first, and then I'll know that he's looking down smiling, knowing that millions upon millions of people are enjoying it still. And I included it in my tweet, but like his legacy will live on, multi-generational. I don't even know how to elaborate how time has no value when it comes to how long that Toriyama's works will remain. The end of time, genuinely. One of the most iconic franchises, but not only that, his influence in other manga and anime and creations in general. He had to have birthed thousands upon tens of hundreds of thousands of eager artists looking to get their next big break and tell their own story. And that is so insanely beautiful, it can't even be measured. Like I said, 90% of what I cover on this channel now is Akira Toriyama's world. And for that, I don't know how to tell you how grateful I am. The friends that it's brought me and the community that it's brought me, I don't think I could ever repay any amount or any person. I think one of the most heartbreaking things about the letter that was published was that it said that he was still very passionate about several works that he was still in the middle of. I look at everything that he's left behind, like original Dragon Ball, and I start to have sort of a newfound respect for every single little brushstroke, every single detail in what he's created. And I think that's why it starts to hit me more and more over time as time goes on, is knowing we'll never get that back in the same capacity. But I don't want this to turn into this sad video where I feel sort of pessimistic about things, because it's more of an overjoyment for everything that he gave us before he left. I'm having trouble finding the words to say beyond that. Again, I meant this more as sort of a video saying thank you to him, because without him, I don't know where I'd be right now. Dragon Ball and everything Toriyama made has enveloped my life in such a way that despite him having never even met me, he knew, and he still knows to this day, how many people he's impacted. I hope that with all my heart. The official letter that published this says that we hope that Akira Toriyama's unique world of creation continues to be loved by everyone for a long time to come. And I don't think there's anything I can guarantee more in this world is that until the end of time, his works will live, and myself and millions upon millions of others couldn't be more grateful for those works that he left behind and the legacy that he gave us. Thank you.